Definitive by this jury. It shows.
To talk about her shock when she learned Peterson was married and his wife was missing, and why she'd prefer he spend the rest of his life in prison rather than getting the death penalty. That's next Monday and Tuesday right here on Today, as well as a special hour on Dateline NBC on Tuesday night. And still ahead, your picks for the top story in news, entertainment, and sports for the year 2004, right after these messages.
It's midnight tonight. You might be opening a bottle of bubbly. In champagne screw-top bottles. Can you imagine the French reaction? Oh, mon Dieu!
It's a... G'day, mates. It is the stroke of midnight in Sydney, Australia, and you're looking live at the scene there where they are partying like it's 2005, because it is. That is the fireworks display in Sydney Harbor over the Opera House. It makes me think back to the personal fireworks display they gave me during my Where in the World trip. This pales in comparison, of course. But it's such a pretty setting, and we want to wish all our friends in Australia a Happy New Year.
It still is dramatic. Look at this. It really does put us in the mood to welcome in the new year.
Anyway, we're back at 8 o'clock on this Friday morning. It's the 31st day of December 2004. Not New Year's here yet, but our crowd is getting the party started already, and they come with all kinds of elaborate signs this morning. We'll go outside in about a half hour and say hi to these folks in person. Meanwhile, inside Studio 1A, I'm Matt Lauer along with Ann Curry. Katie's been taking this week off. She'll be back on Monday.
One more day, Katie. Be back.
That's right. And coming up this morning, a Today Show tradition. By and in keeping with tradition on the Today Show, we're going to bid farewell to 2004 with a look back at some of the laughs we've had. Beam us in.
Everybody in the future has hair except me!
And welcome to Today on this Friday.
Whoa, I wish.
Sorry.
We are not in Studio 1A in Rockefeller Center right now.
We're not in Kansas either.
No. Did you do that to your hair on purpose, or is that the humidity here? Welcome back, anyone? Everyone, excuse me, and anyone. Oh, my God.
Meanwhile, I'm Katie Couric back in Athens.
Katie.
Hi, Jen.
Whose idea was this, anyway?
Your idea.
I'm Katie Couric, and as you can see, I'm all alone this morning. Where in the world is Matt Lauer, you ask?
You say you want to be Katie here? We don't waste any time.
That's it. Get back in the pool.
It's fun. It's part of a series we're doing here. Next week, 8 of my high school friends come in. We're going to drink a keg. And we should also say congratulations to Katie. She was inducted into the Hall of Fame over the weekend. We chartered a bus, went up to Cooperstown. Nothing happening there. Nothing. We have supermodel Heidi Klum here. She's completely naked, and she's about to put... Check out that tail. Yes. When someone says check something out, do you always go... He made, I guess, a preemptive strike against Larissa. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just saying hi to that nice lady over there.
I'm trying to listen to you.
That's it.
Sorry, I'm actively listening. Go ahead, talk.
By the way, Al, it's like this, not like this.
Well, I guess you're so used to seeing it.
Are you at some point going to get your knee, elbow, hand, and out of my shot?
You hear me? One more time.
Where in the world is Matt Lauer?
Where in the world is Matt Lauer? I'm with my friend Sir Richard Branson. That is one handsome man right there. That really is.
Stop it. Well.
I honor you every single day. How can I do it?
Where's Katie?
Oh, hi, Matt. How are you? Gee, I hate my job, Al. Nice to see you. There is a God. Okay, I'm sorry, but is he not the most handsome man ever?
Well, maybe not the most.
I want these arms around you.
Woman, don't sing in my presence. How many times do I have to tell you?
We've asked the same thing. It doesn't work. Who lives on a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. But Mr. Ed will never speak unless he has something to say.
The leaves of life are falling down around you, girl.
From NBC News,
News.
It is my turn to do the firing this morning. One more intern will get the boot.
Good luck. I had to do it yesterday. I kind of liked it, actually.
I could never be Donald Trump.
Yes, you
You're fired.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paris Hilton!
This is Paris today, Paris in 20 years.
You looked like you enjoyed it a little too much, is what other people
Gosh,
said.
I couldn't wait to get that off. By Sunday morning, I finally had enough.
How do I look? Look good. How do I feel? Feel good. How do I look? Look good. Looking good. Feeling gorgeous. Look good. How do I feel?
Da-da, da-da.
Wearing traditional. Oh, you look fantastic.
Lots of style. She lots of class. She walks real steady.
We gotta go.
It takes all kinds of people to make the
music got
world
me there a
just
little bit.
right. In a moment, every color, team and number, every shape and height.
Sorry, there's a bug in here. There's like a little flyway thing right there. No, look, behind you.
Yes, yes.
What about these suckers?
These
Excuse
are
me.
called. You have a piece of lamb on your mouth.
Do I really?
Look, can I start this again?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Rewind.
Can you go back?
Katie, Matt, no. I'm trying to read this stuff, but I can't figure it out. Okay.
What's
You
so
have
funny?
feta cheese in your teeth.
Could you have waited
I
to
just
tell
saw
me?
it.
Al, don't do that!
And the table is still standing.
Everybody's got the strength inside. All it takes is
I
time.
am so impressed and proud.
Thank
I
you so
present you
much.
this laurel and hearty handshake.
Dreams come true.
What's your name?
Anne Margaret.
Oh, you're, Anne Margaret. Wow, you look a lot younger in person. All right. Baby face, you've got the cutest little baby face. There's not another one to take your place, my little baby face. My poor heart is jumping. You sure have started something, baby face.
I love you, Katie.
I'm up in heaven when I'm in your
I'm plumb out of funny things to say.
Yeah, the sky's blue, just us two, side by side. We see the world that's around us. Hey, seize the day. Rainbows, a floating bright emotions to us. Carry us away to a beautiful life. 'Cause it's a beautiful
No, never too much
Never enough.
silliness.
Ending on a little Katie sandwich there. We'd like to thank Erica Levins for producing that tape, along with associate producer Lindsay Smith.
You sure you want to thank
And
him?
editor Chris Connell. We wish them well in their new jobs.
They put all those bathing suit shots of Matt in there, so.
We're going to re-edit that for the West Coast.
Katie could have been here to see that.
It is fun. It is fun to look back, though, and think all the places, at least, that we've been over this past
I'm exhausted
12
looking
months.
at that tape.
Yeah, it's been
especially
fun.
all that stuff in Greece. I mean, that was a
We
a
missed
really
you there.
big.
We
But that
really
was
did.
a great job you guys did.
It was fun. Anyway, we're going to take a break and come back with your picks for the top moments of the year, and with more music behind us right after this.
Hey, Dad, what do you...
It is time now to talk about some of the top moments of this past year. For the past 12 months, we've covered everything from breaking news to the world of entertainment to the highlights and lowlights from the world of sports. And of course, we've followed the scandals as well. Looking back on 2004, some of those stories and moments will stand out above the others. So let's see what some of you called the biggest news stories of 2004.
The biggest story of the year was the tsunami.
The 2004 presidential election.
Probably the 2004 election.
The tsunami was definitely the biggest news story of the year.
The top moment of 2004 was the election.
My top moment for 2004 was the election.
The biggest news story was the war. It's affecting everyone.
The tsunami.
The war in Iraq.
Let me give you some numbers here. 38,032 people logged onto our website and voted on what they thought was the biggest story of the past year news-wise. 42% chose the presidential election as the biggest news story, followed closely by the war in Iraq. That surprise anybody?
No, I think the presidential election was, in my view, the top story, because obviously the entire world was waiting to find out what the decision would be. I think the tsunami, though, does rank up there. I think the war in Iraq, I would still say, is number 2. So many lives affected in this country.
I would have to say weather as a whole. I'm working on your end here, seeing just the tsunami and the hurricanes in Florida, but I guess the tsunami came too late.
I was
going to
say, I think
right.
if we had people voting for the last week or so, and I think a lot of that voting probably came in before the tsunami story, the magnitude of it really hit home. Back to the election for a second, though. I mean, those stories, the war and the election, are really intertwined because so many people felt the election was a referendum on the war. So it's interesting that people rank those number 1 and 2.
The thing about the election, it had ordinary people that have never talked about or have been interested in politics. They've been talking about it for such a long period of time. That's why I think it dominated the news.
All right, let's move on. There were a few scandals that will be remembered in the years to come. We asked some of you what you thought was the most memorable scandal of 2004.
Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake, absolutely.
Janet Jackson, yeah.
Oh, the Kobe Bryant.
Paris Hilton.
Ashley Simpson was like dancing on the stage on Saturday Night Live. That was crazy. I was like, okay, she lip syncs.
But this oil for food thing is certainly a scandal that maybe everyone's not aware of.
Just about everything political is a scandal.
See if I can give you some results on this. 37,232 people voted on what they thought was the biggest scandal of the year. 52% of that vote went to the steroid scandal. Janet Jackson and her wardrobe malfunction at the Super Bowl came in second with 42% of the vote.
I think, I would rank the Scott Peterson case as a scandalous story. The story about scandal, a scandalous
I'm not sure
situation.
they considered
I don't
that
think that was in that
category.
but in my view, that would be
I'm just
in there. I think
surprised.
the steroid story, though, was huge.
But my friends were not talking about the steroid story.
No.
They really weren't.
Janet
It was
Jackson.
strange. I think that was kind of media-driven.
Some people think that it could kill baseball, actually.
Well,
so, that's
but it's
pretty
been
big.
around for a long time, and all of a sudden why this year everybody paid attention to it, I'm not sure why, but...
I think Janet Jackson, again, because once again you hear, the issue of morality and with all the lawsuits and the media now facing fines.
And it was the Super Bowl. I mean, people gather for Super Bowl parties with your kids.
Yeah, it was 6 o'clock on the West Coast when
My
it
son
happened.
was watching.
All right. Moving on, what about sports? 2004 was a big year, from the Super Bowl to the Olympics to the World Series and the Tour de France. Let's see what some people on the streets thought the most memorable sports moment of the year was.
The Yankees losing the World Series, even though I love the Yankees, it was definitely an important moment in time.
Michael Phelps, that was great. We were on the edge of our seats watching that.
Unfortunately, when the Yankees lost the World Series.
Ron Artest running into the stands in Detroit.
The Jet Patriot game.
The Yankees sucking wind, losing to Boston.
Having no ice hockey was definitely a unsports story.
The basketball fiasco is a disgrace to basketball and the game.
Get me the name of that guy who said the Yankees suck in the end.
They're two Yankees fans.
There are no surprises here. 65% of the people who voted in our online poll chose the Boston Red Sox winning the World Series as the #1 sports moment of the year. Distant second, 16% of the vote, Lance Armstrong, who took first in the Tour de France for the 6th straight year. And, all right, everybody agree with that?
I
Boston,
think so,
hands
yeah.
down.
Or the Yankees losing.
Don't say it that way. Last but not least, who do you think is the most popular entertainer of 2000?
Tom Cameron Swayze.
Brett Huntley.
David Beckham.
John Chen. Tom Brokaw.
Disaster Zone. New